The Battle of Vella Gulf was a naval battle of the Pacific campaign of World War II fought on the night of 6 to 7 August 1943, in Vella Gulf between Lavella Island and Kolombangara Island in the Solomon Islands of the Southwest Pacific. This engagement was the first time that destroyers were allowed to operate independently of the cruiser force during the Pacific campaign. In the battle, 6 American destroyers, Dunlap, Craven, Maury, Sterett, and engaged a group of 4 enemy destroyers attempting to reinforce Japanese troops on Kolombangara. The American warships closed the enemy undetected with the aid of radar and fired torpedoes which sank Hagikaze, Arashi, and Kawakaze with no damage to American ships. Background: the American forces were in a campaign of island hopping the way towards Japan. They had taken Guadalcanal the past year. After the victory in the Battle of Kolombangara on the 13th of July, the Japanese had established a powerful garrison of 12,400 around Vella at the southern tip of the island. This was the principal port on that island, and it supplied at night using fast destroyers as transports known as the Tokyo Express. 3 supply runs on the 19th of July, 29 July, and the 1st of August were successful deliveries. However, by the 1st of August the Americans were driving the Japanese out of the airfield on New Georgia Island just south of Kolombangara. Battle. On the night of the 6th of August, the Imperial Japanese Navy sent a force of 4 destroyers under Captain Kaju Sugiura, Hagikaze, Arashi, Shigure, and Kawakaze, carrying about 950 soldiers and their supplies. The Japanese airfield at Munda on New Georgia, which the force at Vella was assigned to reinforce, was on the verge of being captured. It would actually fall later that day. The Imperial commanders expected that Vella would become the center of the next line of defense. The U.S. Navy Task Group 31.2 of 6 destroyers Dunlap, Craven, Maury, Sterett, and commanded by Captain Frederick Moose Brugger was lying in wait, and it made radar contact with the Japanese force at 23:33. Moose Brugger's battle plan divided his forces into 2 divisions. Dunlap, Craven and Maury were to launch a surprise torpedo attack out of the shadow of Lavella while Sterett and covered them from an overwatch position, turning to cross the enemy's course so any attempt by the Japanese to turn into the 1st Division's torpedo attack would expose the broadsides to a torpedo attack from the 2nd Division, keeping the enemy formation inside the wide V created by the diverging courses would also help prevent the friendly fire incidents that had plagued U.S. Navy formations in previous night battles. The 2 divisions could then switch roles if a repeat torpedo attack proved necessary. Having learned the harsh lessons of naval combat at night after the Battle of Tassafaronga, the Battle of Vella Gulf, and a previous PT boat skirmish, the American destroyers did not give away the position with gunfire until the torpedoes started striking the targets. Dunlap, Craven and Maury fired a total of 36 torpedoes in the space of 63 seconds before turning to starboard and withdrawing at high speed, using the mountainous island to their east to help camouflage their movements. Japanese radar was not as advanced as the American radar and it could not differentiate between the surface ships and the island, and not all Japanese ships present had radar. Sterett and turned to port to cross their opponent's D and opened fire as soon as the torpedoes started detonating. All 4 Japanese destroyers were hit by American torpedoes. Hagikaze, Arashi, and Kawakaze burst into flames and either sank immediately or were quickly sunk by naval gunfire. The torpedo that hit Shigure was a dud that passed through her rudder without detonating, allowing her to escape into the darkness. Many of the Imperial soldiers and sailors left floating in the water after the ships sank refused rescue by American ships. Over 1,000 Japanese soldiers and sailors were lost, mostly by drowning. 300 of them reached Lavella and they were later transferred to Kolombangara Island. During this entire battle, not one U.S. ship was struck by so much as a single bullet to shell. Musburger's wise usage of radar and clever coordination of his forces resulted in the battle being nearly a clean sweep of Vella Gulf by the U.S. Navy. Aftermath. The battle, coming less than 1 month after the night action at the Battle of Kolombangara, was the first U.S. Navy victory in World War II in a torpedo duel. The 6 destroyers had accomplished what a squadron of 15 American PT boats could not shortly before: sink the Tokyo Express with torpedoes with no American or friendly Navy losses. The Empire of Japan could no longer supply the garrison on Kolombangara Island, and the Allies bypassed it, landing instead on Lavella to the west. The Japanese army soon abandoned Kolombangara. Namesakes: the escort aircraft carrier Vella Gulf, in commission from 1945 to 1946, and the Ticonderoga-class guided missile cruiser Vella Gulf, in commission since 1993, were named for this battle.